Yeah, that was better waiting it out to make sure that I knew that my bitrate was better. Let me just pin that again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still pinned. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Resident Evil 5 has always given me so many issues. Oh my god, he untapped.
Another...
Oh my god, tapping back in? Okay. Oh my god, tapping back in scared me. Ooh.
Scary.
Okay, bitrate is okay. It's jumping a little high,
first?
but I think that's...
Damn it.
It should be up now for the first. I'm gonna wait.
Anyway, I'm first. Because I am here.
Did you redeem it?
No, it won't let me. It says it's out of stock.
What the hell?
To be fair, it also... Yeah, it says it's out of stock. And I'm like, no.
No, because it's once per stream. We restarted stream. We got no way.
Yeah,
First...
even the timer reset.
That's crazy, actually. For once. 10, 12, 20. We're still doing good. Take 5. Oh my god, I'm knocking over everything.
Now it's fast.
Now it said, okay, actually, you're right. This is a new stream. It's funny to me because Resident Evil 4 has always given me like the most problems. And it's never like graphics wise. It's always been like OBS wise. It's crashed on me. It's completely crashed my OBS sometimes before. And I've had the most bitrate issues so far while playing this, which that has nothing to do with it. But coincidence? Maybe. Possibly.
I see. There's a trick to getting out of here.
I'm so tempted to go get cheese.
Tread carefully.
Go get cheese. I'm doing puzzle here.
Focused.
Okay, if you do puzzle, I won't miss anything. I can go cut myself some cheese.
Yeah, get cheese. It's like 3 layers of puzzles. Oh, thank God Sheva's smart. Imagine me taking double dose of vitamins. Elevator! Oh wait, do I need to hit another one? That should be the one. Oh yeah, okay.
Looks like it worked. Are we finished?
She was really just waiting up there. That's weird. I mean, I do have 2 people at home today working from home, so also there is a lot of internet being taken up.
On the way, but I think I can knock it over.
How do you suppose we knock it over? Oh, she found a jewel. I love her just sitting up there. So I should be able to punch it, right? There we go. Okay. Let me not lock myself in. Wonk. Man, what a strong. What a strong little guy. Okay. So this is gonna boink to this one, which will boink to that one. And I'll shoot that to that, and I think this one can hit to that. I think that's the way that it goes. Yeah. If I am correct. Oh, not close enough. Yeah! I lined it up.
Another one down. What's next?
I don't know, Sheva. You're just sitting there. Doing nothing. She's watching the show. Oop. One of these has... Oh, ball. It's the evil room. Evil room has spider. My god. Why did he call on the floor like that? That was gross. Trap, what a way to go. What, honestly, upside down, everything. Yeah. I've gotten that one before. There's a certain, like, selection of those that I just have not gotten, and I'm like, ah. This is elevator down. Okay. Ow. I would like to get the 2 rooms, though. You talking about the medallions? Yeah. Yes, yes. Let me turn this one. That one should get the door? Question mark? Oh no, that goes to that. I have to ping pong that, okay. Whoop, didn't put it all the way. Okay, you stay right there. Did look at the location guide. At least one's completely bullshit. They're so hard to find. Like, some of them, they're just like, oh, here you go. They dangle in your face. The other ones, you really gotta search for them. So yeah, I need to look up some of them, for... Let me see if I can move this one. How does this one change? One wrong move and I... Welcome back.
Filled with cheese.
Fuck yeah. I just locked myself in.
I officially have bread cheese.
Bread cheese! I love me bread cheese. Let's see where this one goes. I mean, if this one... I think this will just solve the puzzle, but I want those 2 rooms. Well, let's see what I create. Oh. I unlocked the doors. The D-O-R-E, yippee!
Yippee!
Yippee! Yippee, yippee. Where Sheva, one cannot be gotten. See, that's crazy that that happens. Whoa, sneakies! Ow, hey. Okay. So anyways, I got egg. I have some egg.
Egg.
Egg. I also lost a little bit of health, but... Oh. Why no health when egg? I hate that the, That's what I freaking thought, buddy. There was one more snake. This one. This one. We do that. We do that. And we collect that one. And then we give Sheva an egg. As well. She deserves 1 egg. Okay, so now we need to walk.
An egg in these trying times.
Exactly, exactly. Too short to look inside the dumpster. That's crazy that that's like... That's the only thing. Okay. Oh. Oh. Hey, Sheva. Yeah, that's what I thought, Sheva. Sheva! Oh, Sheva!
Sheva.
I almost went the wrong way, Sheva. Okay. this way. Okay. I love this because I too can trap myself in this puzzle. I too can soft lock myself in. And by that I mean lock myself in the lasers. Hey Sheva. Hey Billy. Hey Ron. Oh, I guess I could have gone the other way, but oh well.
All right, we got it.
Yeah, Sheva, we got it. I did it. Me did. Me got this puzzle done.
Yippee!
And she's walking. Okay, she's running now. She was walking around the corner. I'm like, come on, we have places to be. Oh.
I owe you one.
Oh, she actually needed to be healed.
Thanks.
I gave her an egg, and that was actually a good idea. She might use that to heal.
partner.
Don't use it. Okay, good. She's a little smarter. If I give her another egg, she might use that. So this is like the Las Plagas and like the mold, which we'll see in 7 and 8.
Ooh.
Man, I wish I had bread. And cheese. Bread cheese.
I can give you some of my bread cheese.
Bread cheese.
I still have cheese and I still have...
How can these survive underground?
Some plants thrive underground, Sheva.
These are no ordinary flowers.
The plagas, the mold. Yep, the GTC virus, all of them.
Wait.
I don't know why we needed that shot of the feet stomping down. Oh, dun dun dun. Umbrella.
Umbrella.
What?
Umbrella.
What was Umbrella doing?
I don't know.
It's the same company, it's just
Doesn't
rebranded.
look like anyone's been around for a while.
Because then there's Tricell.
You can be sure they wanted to keep this place a secret.
Some of this equipment's got the Trisol logo on it. Are they working together?
Good then. I think not. Yeah, this is another stem of... This is where the problems all started from. She has awesome heals. You're so right. She's doing all this in heals. What are we on for, too? Maybe. Oh, I was like, oh my god, we've only been streaming for 30 minutes. No.
No. 4 hour.
4 hour. What am I thinking? I was counting in my head. Oh, it's only been 4 hour. 4 hour.
4 hour. Thank you, Quiet.
4 hour. Thank you for hydrate.
Quiet, I hope you're getting ready to get to bed. I love you, Quiet.
You heard it here first. Get ready for bed. See? No. Oh. Treasures. V. Sell. Okay. Ex nitalis. You put those little fish away and you march yourself right to bed. Or to get ready to bed. One of the two. I'll take either one. Oh, I don't have enough money. Odysseus of Ithaca. Yeah, I saw that one. How much is? I should probably keep 2 of each. I don't really need to, but I can. Oh! There was ammo. No! Quiet has work. Quiet has work. Quiet can stay up late tomorrow. That's permitted. Not tonight, though. Quiet needs to go
Why
eat.
you stay up late tomorrow? That's okay. But you go bed. You go get rest.
Sarah and Kia are such wonderful and cool and amazing and awesome people. You both are always
Wyatt,
fun to yap and
what if
hang
I
out
cried?
at. Both
Right
great.
here.
What if
Right.
I
Meow.
keel over and cry?
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Sheppa gets one more. Actually, I think she doesn't use those, so I'm gonna take them.
I can get more sappy.
No, you can't. You know what you can get? Ready for bed.
I mean, you can also get more sappy, but like,
I wonder if this
also
is
get
what
ready
Irving
for
meant
bed.
by answers.
Take care of yourself.
Sure.
Yeah.
But obviously there's a connection here with Umbrella. And that's never a good sign.
We can worry about this later. First, we need to find out about Jill.
You're right.
Jill.
Let's see what we can dig out.
Leon. Sheppa.
Leon.
Brother doing research on these flowers. Yes, these flowers are like the source, the beginning, the branch. Leon. Leon. Now, but soon. Okay, soon. Oh no! Oh no! I'm
You
getting.
take care of yourself.
If you stay long enough, you get to see my most horrific part of this. The chief researcher, Brandon's journal. Mr. Spencer once spoke of the flower called the stairway to the sun. Supposedly, this flower would give a person who consumed it incredible abilities. Everyone thought it was nothing more than a rumor or a legend that Mr. Spencer was telling us. But later research would prove us wrong. They said, fuck, he was telling the truth. The first person to recognize the validity. Validity? I can't speak.
Kitties?
Yeah. Soon. Of the story was my teacher, Dr. James Marcus. We also met Mr. Marcus in Zero. He hypnotized. He was Zero. He was hypnotized. Hypnotized. That a virus hereto unknown might exist that could alter DNA. The man was so curious. And it turned into be correct. He was quite, yeah. Virus discovered in the flower was labeled progenitor. For 3 months in Africa, we worked diligently. Okay, I just had a stroke saying that one. Diligently. Oh my god. I started off attacks for the Didipaya, which I think was the native people here, which we've been fighting because they infected them as experiments. After such time, our efforts were finally rewarded. Even Dr. Marcus, who until yesterday looked exhausted, was in good spirits. He wants to return home as soon as possible to delve deeper into his research. You know the joke about Greek mythology? Unfortunately, Zeus couldn't keep it in his pants. Well, Resident Evil is unfortunately Wesker was being a punk bitch. He was being a punk ass bitch. 1967. 1967. I cultivated a flower that mass-produced the progenitor virus. At first, everything proceeded smoothly. The plants were strong, they grew quickly, in a short amount of time, they flowered. But then when a major problem surfaced, the flowers did not contain the progenitor virus. Perhaps the environment in which they've grown triggers the development of the virus. This matter must be investigated further. I thought the page didn't flip. Anyways, I got in a heated debate with Dr. Marcus about the direction of the research was taking. During the debate, Mr. Spencer interjected some foolhardy notion of starting a company. And Mr. Spencer was like, you know, I have this idea. Without the progenitor virus, there's no point in starting a company. Does he not see that? It's all pointless. Mr. Spencer didn't give a shit, bro. Mr. Spencer ran the company.
Yeah. He didn't give a shit.
Exactly. He didn't give a shit. Mr. Wesker didn't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think doggos. If not, my worst fear is coming up. It tells me where documents are. That's actually kind of cool. I didn't really notice that. Oh, I didn't need that. Gift.
Thanks.
Yeah, sorry, ma'am. I didn't need that. Oh. Oh, I wanted the telegram from James Marcus. T-virus development, a success. 1978. We're coming close to Raccoon City. Was that it? Yep, that was it. That was that whole message. Chief Research Manager number 268. She just reloaded it. Breakthrough. I didn't even finish message. I think Giant Crab is next. We have my icky boys soon. That's why Dr. Marcus and I decided to return to Africa. If we wait about it, then we'll just have to remove them from the equation. Damn, they're gonna remove a whole native species. Native everything. This entire portion of Africa is just gone. And Dr. Mason decided to try Mr. Spencer's plan. News, we learned they were able to chase the Nidipaya off their land. Damn, the land we acquired only amounts to half of those underground ruins. They just colonize. Oh, Raccoon City. Mr. Spencer said he plans to construct a research facility at the site, which will expedite our research into the virus. We hastily made our preparation to depart for Africa, but Mr. Spencer requested that Dr. Marcus stay in Raccoon City to take over the training center. I wonder why. We were initially taken back by this request, but we soon realized that it was a logical course of action. Dr. Marcus needs a calm environment to properly conduct his research. If we were in Africa, there would be no facility for him to use at this time. I just hope African research facility gets built soon. Dr. Marcus and Mr. Spencer agree that this is the best course of action. Dr. Marcus isn't here. This place is far from being paradise of research and scientific study. It just certainly sounds like I struggle with talking. So I guess
yeah, but that's okay.
Hey, we got the special date. Yeah, Marcus was the leech guy. 1969. Oh, wow. Come to end. The real Umbrella Africa Research Center, not just some pile of tents. They finally have the building together. Do a giant service to Dr. Marcus and his viral research. It's a rare turn of events, but the old...
Hello from prop making.
Hello, I miss you, boo. I hope pop making be going well.
Hello.
Skin Flint Spencer actually agreed with me on this way. That's that's a crazy statement to call Mr. Spencer. Seeing as like... Sorry, that was genuine. That's what's been hissing at us this whole time. Yeah. Painted something dead? Fuck yeah. Invoice copy. Dr. Marcus, 5 cases at the progenitor sample. Anyways, this is my most, like, hated portion of the game. It's not difficult. I just hate these monsters. Funny date. Very funny date. Ooh. A piece of candy. Flowers!
I don't know how, but they could be using them to produce biological weapons.
I can't wait till we get to Village, because like the lore that adds to all of this. Oh my god. Power on? Oh my god, I could turn on the computer. Guys, we're gonna... Oh. Miguel's journal. And I've actually never really properly read this. The place was abandoned a long time ago. There's nothing there of value to us. One piece of equipment remains. Oh, because this is ky3len now. The important thing is a progenitor virus. So ky3len now. Oh, I wonder who came up with the name liquor for those creatures. I mean, when you see them, it's a long tongue. You just know it's a perfect name. They said, wow. But for the researchers like me, bows, like liquors, are just a pain in the ass. If I said, you know how many times the Licky Boys were too perfect, I'd probably be going too far in my praise. But they're pretty much an evolutionary dead end. There's no room left to improvement. Bows that were created using the T virus don't seem to show much improvement when the progenitor virus is administered. I mean... Their ability shows some slight improvements. For example, their sense of smell seems more or less improved. But that's all we've got so far. They're still blind as an old lady, and they're ugly as shit. Okay, well, you're not making them to look pretty. The biggest jump in their evolution seems to be their ability to reproduce. I hate when things don't go accordingly to plan, but since there's still a demand for licky boys on the bow market, I guess things aren't all too bad. Damn, there's a market for the licky boys. Who's buying these licky boys?
Take it.
Roger.
Yippee! Trisel, an email to an acquaintance. Hey, I know this is sudden, but I'm getting some time off soon. We've completed most of our work with the new project. Sorry, you know I can't talk about work. So they're giving us some time off to reward us for all the hard work.
It's okay. It's like you're just making sure to let me know you're alive. It's like, let me just make noise. A little. I am alive. I was grabbing a drink real quick.
Hell yeah! All this stuff. I've just been reading, bro. They were talking about the licky boys. All the staff are leaving tomorrow, and we'll finally be getting out of this country. Okay, fine. I am reading. I'm heading straight back to Arizona, and I can't wait to get home and see everybody. More than that, I think I'll just be happier to get away from the high and mighty Miguel. Guy thinks he's some sort of super genius. Miguel's guy sitting next to me at work, and he's a good researcher and all, don't get me wrong. He's got some good ideas and is good at noticing details, but every time he opens his mouth, he just goes on and on about how great he is. You can't even begin to imagine what torture it is to hear that day in and day out. I wish we made a sedative I could give to him. But forget all that. What matters is that I should be back home within yeah, next few days, and I'll give you a call.
Fucking evil.
That's crazy. I said, get a load of this guy, bro. This guy sucks. Entirely off someone's research, I can definitely say that there are people who would buy licky boys. What kind of research? Don't ask. Fair enough, fair enough. Anyways, I hope this Sheva computer AI knows how to walk. Because that's what we will be doing. Were you gonna break that box, man? You thought about it. Okay. Yeah.
Thanks, partner.
Okay. Now. Okay, Sheva, we are going to walk this way. She decided to run. I hate this part so much. This was a crazy thing to play though, and having it like such a throwback to the second game. That's not a person no more. Torn apart by animals? Yeah, I wonder why. Okay. Open sesame. Who puts this inside of this?
Careful. I saw something.
Can we break this? Okay, quietly. Giant rats. A goat. More giant rats. Sheva, I need you to back away from me. I'm stressed out right now. Sheva, you're pushing me.
Sheva, do you know of personal space?
She's like on my ass. Sheva, what? I'm not even mad at her. I'm just stressed out about this situation. Pick that up, Sheva. Okay, fine. I'll pick it up.
Give me a grenade.
Take this.
Actually,
Give me an herb.
Take this.
give me that.
Thanks.
Exchange.
Give me an herb.
Use this.
No.
Give me an egg.
Take this.
Do they not stack?
They don't stack,
Some
but
of
you,
these items look like they should stack.
the herbs never stack. Hey, wait, give me. Wait.
Give me an egg.
Use this.
Okay, fine. Don't give me the one egg.
Give me a grenade.
Take this.
Okay, that's better. Damn. Oh, okay. Now is not the time to say damn. Sheva, don't you dare shoot that, and don't you dare run. Sheva, stop it. You're stressing me out, Sheva.
Sheva, can you calm down, please?
Sheva? I just like shut up. I'm like, nope. Sheba! Who said to shoot them, Sheba? Oh, my ears! Sheva? I blame you for all this. Okay, we're just running now. They know we're here. They know us. They can smell. Hey, Sheva, they shot something at you. I'm running.
Oh my god, bro. You know what?
Whoa, hey, Sheva. Back it up. I hate... I can take it. No. Oh my god. Okay. Oh. Oh no. Okay, yeah, Sheva. Yeah, you take that. Let's go. Who knew they could open doors? I probably should have gone into that room and looted it.
Thank God there weren't more of them.
Yeah, we wouldn't last in a fight with a whole horde.
Eat. Don't say it like that. Eat. 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 Eat.
Give me a grenade.
Take this.
Give me a grenade.
Use this.
I'm gonna do that. Do this. She ate my egg. That's okay. Just very rude of her. How dare. She didn't even ask. That was my egg. My special egg in these trying times. That's called foreshadowing? Yeah. Yeah. I hate this chick.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Roger.
Sorry, Sheva. I wasn't on the right side.
Fran,
And by that, I mean the left side.
did you say that?
I'm sitting up for this.
I don't think they'll notice us.
No shrimping allowed.
You don't think they'll notice us, Sheva?
senses are weak.
Last time you said that, then you shot them.
Sheva, come on.
Sheva, I need you right next to me now.
Come on.
Roger.
The elevator, bro. Take what you can, Sheva. Thank you for grabbing the herb.
Come on. Come on.
Really? That's what I'm saying, bro. Hey, yo, which one's my grenade? Oh, it's here. Hey, Sheva, so get in the elevator.
Are you okay?
Sheva, get in the fucking elevator! Heal me later! I hate this bitch sometimes. Ooh.
You grab it.
Roger.
Ooh.
Take it.
Okay.
Enemy!
Yeah, quiet. Go get some sleep.
Yeah.
Go get some rest.
Get sleep.
I'll see you tomorrow. Love and appreciate you so much, you silly. Get some rest.
Yeah.
I'll bite you.
Thanks, partner.
I'll bite you. The threat of alter. Oh, I didn't actually want that. Hold on. Discard. Yes. Give me that. I have a lot of ammo again. Go sleep. Hope. Oh. Wait, there was something about this that relates to I'm pretty sure 7, which is the beginning of Ethan's story. But I'm not going to mention anything. But I want to. I remember people talking about that, like, oh my god, is that something with that? And I think it was dealing with 7. I think. I don't remember.
The pictures, too.
This was in the pictures?
That means
6?
Jill might be here.
9, maybe 7.
7 minutes is
We got so many things for 7 now. Goodbye.
What have they done?
They always have these fucking massive facilities. I'm like, how the fuck did y'all build this shit? They ain't got no mechanical keyboard either. Jill Valentine. Jill Valentine! That's my wife! That's my fucking wife. Oh, okay.
There's so many.
Just a
They're
few.
kidnapping people from all over the world to experiment on.
That is just a few.
Just
a couple.
few. Yeah, just a couple, just a few. Built it with their hands. You're so right. But like, damn. Why? Why access denied? We don't work here, Sheva. No, not this bitch. Oh, what is the fucking crap? Oh, I forgot there's... Okay, so my hands are on the dodge buttons. It should be into the... Okay. Sheva, run! Sheva, I was not prepared for this, Sheva! Oh, it is how I do that. Sheva, I need to remember how to turn. Well, yeah. No, you hit him in the orange spots. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow! Hey, so I pressed one of the buttons right. I just didn't press F. Hey, so that's not very nice. Oh, he's down. Unload on him. To build it simply, they have multiple governments paying them secret money for a bow. So true. I can say it's not. Oh my good heavens. Okay, so I button mashed, but I hit it right. He closed his little mouth.
He's not allowed to do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's where I need to shoot you.
Let me shoot you.
Yeah. Oh, he's down again. Oh my god. Sheva, why are you on my ass? Be on his ass. Shoot him. I know, at least... Whoa. I don't like his giant shadow following me. Yeah, he's down. Yeah. I see that. I hate reloading. Okay. I don't remember which button it was. I just clicked it. He's so gross. Because he's like a crab, but spider. Oh, well, I didn't like that I said that, and then I activated the spider part. Sheva, please shoot those things. Oh, hey, buddy. Not you. Oh, hey, sorry. A little too close for your comfort. Oh, Sheva, are you good? Sheva, I think he's spewing them out again, and I don't like that. They're like little shrimps. Why is that one spinning like that?
If boy have grenades and you get close to this base when it goes down, you'll be given a prompt to throw a grenade into its mouth.
Oh. Where am I? Sheva, we need a grenade. Actually, we're just gonna do that. Yeah, ouchie. Ouchie. I need him to go down again. Oh, he's going down again. I'm running. Yeah. Ouchie. Oh. Okay, I see. I was just gonna shoot him to death. I won't lie. What else, Red? I don't have another grenade. We must kill the little guys. Kill the little guys. And pick up all this ammo. Oh, good heavens. Thank you for letting me know about that. Oh, look at the little guys flying in front of him. They're taking the bullets for him. I'm gonna shoot him in the little noggin. Hey, little guys, can you drop a little grenade for us? Hey, so I pressed that. That was very fucked up and evil.
So fucked up and evil.
So fucked up and evil.
You know what you gotta do. Grab his dick and twist it.
Grab his stick and twist it. Oh god. Are those little guys okay? Am I okay? Did I get hit? Oh, I forgot about those little guys. The little guys are a grenade. Okay. I hate that noise. Excuse me, Sheva. There's another grenade and I need that. Hey, you good, Sheva?
Sheva, you good?
Whoa.
You okay? What do you need?
Okay, we shoot his little legs. Yeah, shoot it, Sheva. Shoot his leg. Okay, now we run, Sheva. We must throw it. We must throw it in, Sheva. He's like, oh, my head. Oh, he's mad, Sheva. Oh, Sheva. I don't know how I dodged that. Oh my god, Sheva, he's so mad! Oh! Oh, Sheva, he's so mad! Where'd he go, Sheva? Sheva, I'm just gonna go around and collect things. I think he's doing fucked up and evil things. Oh, I think he's gonna drop on us. Oh no, he's up there. Oh, now he's gonna drop on us. Oh, thanks, Sheva. Whoa, hey, Sheva. He's a little close. I hate these little guys. Hey, buddy. Oh. Why he do little bounce? I should aim for your little noggin. I forgot. Whoa. Yeah. You can't protect your little noggin, boy. Bye. He failed. He fell down. Sheva's so cute. I love her. Not gonna lie, I was using the little enemies as bait to get more ammo for later. I was farming them for their supplies. Ew, all the goop in there. Nothing.
Damn it. Where is she?
I don't know. She crashed 47 minutes ago. My bitrate crashed, Jordy. Not even the game. My bitrate died. I had 12,000 missing frames. Excella. How did her boobie stay in that?
I think something got hungry and he did the bit right.
You said that was, I asked how her boobie stayed there, and the response is, I think someone ate it. I'm like, what do you mean you may ate a woman?
Where is Jill?
I mean, they could.
True, they could.
I mean, tape also exists.
That's just impressive tape. She's had that on all day. Jordy, don't eat it at her boobies, please.
Tape and covers.
Sleepy Jill.
You know? She knows something.
Of course she's lying, bro.
Jordy that eated them.
It's time we get
I
some
think you're
answers.
right too. Criminal. Right there. Sitting in chat playing Arc Raiders. It's Las Plagas. The Las Plagas keeps it up. The Las Plagas are like, I will hold it for you. We'll hold it for you, ma'am. We're on chapter 5.
Take a breasty.
Thank you, Breasty.
Hold him up, breasty.
Should we end it there?
Let me take the weight off your shoulders, bro.
Little tentacles are on it. Yeah, they're grabbing it like, okay, boss, we got it, boss. The movies defy law of physics. We could place that. Yeah, because if we continue, well, I mean, if we continue more and we get closer to the end, it just means we do a combo of Resident Evil 5 and 6 in one stream. But fuck Resident Evil 6, personally and respectfully. I don't want to play it. Like, I do want to play it, but I'm like, oh my god, why did they make it so long? I'm just gonna have to zoom through that. We're gonna put it on the easiest, which is normal because I refuse to play any game on easy because I don't know. I don't like it.
Understandable.
Okay, we call it.
There's only one game I'll play on easy,
What game?
and that is Oratatan. Because, dear god, that is a difficult rhythm game.
That's fair. That's fair. Saving content. Save success. Is it my daddy everywhere?
Yeah,
I might
I,
take it
I think cooling it today would probably be good.
Because there's only 5 and 6 left for chapters. I mean, we can play the DLC, but I also don't really care too much about the DLC. It gives some info, but it also doesn't. I forgot I have to click it again to then exit it again.
Oh, I hate it when games do that.
Resident Evil does that a lot. Where I want flying and Espanol again. Yeah, so that means we have like one more stream of Resident Evil 5, and then we do the great migration to Resident Evil 6. And then I can play
Yeah.
7 and 8, and that's gonna take
Speeding
me a little
through
while.
these games.
Yeah.
I say that, but we're about to get to 6.
Oh, actually.
But
Let's see. We can do that, and then we go into 6, unless we play the DLC. 6? Maybe 7. It's stuck in my
I
head,
wish
Jordy, and I blame
one
you.
of, one of my friends streamed later in the day because he's going through Resident Evil 4 for the first time.
Yeah.
And watching that is so funny because he also, through just his own whim, decided to put Leon and Ashley in the exact same clothes.
Taste. Absolute
like,
taste.
Stunning. Stunning.
Resident Evil Requiem. It cost $69. Except I'm buying the deluxe edition, so it's $79.
That's a lot for a game.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, I am whipped for this game.
I think we gotta delay Resident Evil for the entirety of November so that Doc can come and join us.
The 6th on the 11th of December. I can do. Well, we can play through one story. There's four fucking stories. There's 4 fucking stories. We can literally play through one.
Stories.
I really love older stories in 6.
I mean,
so like, yeah. What was I was gonna say something to
because I mean, this today. There's
I don't remember.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. It's about a month. It's just over a month. I mean, how long would it take a regular person to get through one of Resident Evil stories? Like 6.
6. How long? Luna Capria. Let's do Leon's story. Leon. The difference in this, it says typically takes about 5.5 to 10 hours.
Oh,
It like
that's gonna take us a little while.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, in theory, depending on how long we take with certain games, we are almost gonna line up to when Resident Evil Requiem is gonna come out. This was almost like a perfect playthrough with this. Yeah, the campaigns for these are so long for 6, which I enjoy. Like, you are getting a full fucking game with all of the campaigns. But like, goddamn,
I'm surprised that they managed to fit 4 games into one game, pretty much.
Yeah. Because I remember playing with Nikki, and it does take us a little bit longer, because Nikki's just like me. So we do take a little bit longer, but it took about an hour for each chapter, about maybe like 30 minutes shortest, but mainly 40 to a full hour. The fucking cutscenes, that's fair. There is a lot of cutscenes. What are we listening to now? Where is Spotify? I'm clicking all the wrong ones. Oh, it's a new Los Danos. Nice Danos.
Wait, Spotify.
Requiem pre-order, but there's one I want. There's Requiem pre-order stuff that I really want. I just can't believe that there isn't a collector's.
I'm so sad that more and more games are becoming Switch 2 exclusive.
I know, I hate
like
that.
freaking Power Wash.
Is
It
that
bothers me so much because they said in the Nintendo Direct that it was going to be Switch 1 and Switch 2, and then it released 2.
That's crazy. That's like there's also there's a really fucking cool Requiem controller too for the Switch, but it is Switch 2 Pro controller. Will I buy it just because it's Requiem? Yep. Kind of, but also like that's so fucked up. There's also Amiibo coming out.
I'm saving
Amiibo.
for Switch 2 anyway, but like Switch 2 is gonna be like it's about 400 quid.
Yeah, it's just annoying that it's all
Yeah, it's about
just for that.
400, and it's all just for that, and it's like, because then,
True.
mm,
It's just annoying.
yeah, because there's like what maybe like 5 exclusive games for the Switch 2 right now, so it wasn't worth getting it on release. And my friend, because he bought it on release, absolutely said it was not worth it. But now there are more and more games coming out, but they said that they would be dual releasing quite a few games, and then they just never did.
I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm just seeing some stuff. Oh, I just got really confused because on the deluxe edition for Requiem, it says costumes, but then it has the Demetres costume, but then it says total of 5. I'm like, what do you mean total of 5? I was like, are only 5 people gonna get this? No, there's 5 costumes it's coming with. That's just one of them. That made me really... There's one Resident Evil merch that I really want. I'm gonna have to find it again because it was the holder and they had it. Let me look at this. Which game? Case. Because it was coming with all of the games, but it was in a book. It was really cool.
So, Doc, one of the issues with the Switch 2 is that one of their officially licensed, like, third-party case makers for it, fucked up with it, and you're supposed to be able to hold the Switch 2 with one hand, and it won't come apart because of the way that they've built it. But with that case on, it makes the Joy-Cons slightly too big, and so they don't connect properly, and then they fall off. They like snap off. Which is bad because then it will damage the connection because it's like it's essentially like a USB inside the Switch, and it'll damage and it can even break off the USB. And it's just like, why? Why did they not vet this?
Is this real? 1, 2, 3.
Ooh.
Is that real? When did it? No, it's a parody account. Okay, I'm like, that can't be real. Okay, it was just more DVD stuff, and I'm like, what? DVD Resident Evil stuff, and I'm like, that'd be crazy. Evil case? Oh, maybe I could spell evil right, and that would be nice. Oh, those are so cool. Okay. I'm trying to find these stupid cases. Because it was really cool. Oh, here we go. It's a biohazard. Oh, interesting. Okay. Resident Evil Bio. Well, okay, if I can spell Biohazard Collector's Edition. But of the like the what is this? 30th. This is so hard to fucking find this one fucking thing. Resident Evil 30th anniversary site? Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that, Doc, but I'll be real, that's like an American thing. That's only really happening in America. Nobody staples the receipts to boxes here. They don't do that here.
It was only with those two because they don't usually staple it on the product, but it was something of I think as it was making sure that each one goes to its proper like person and whatnot, so people don't buy double. But like that is the stupidest thing to like staple it. Where is that thing I want? I want these things. Okay, I'll have to look into this so I can share it with everybody too. Okay. Oh, I guess I need this. Let's see. Do you guys want to be dropped off anywhere?
I don't think anybody's live on my end.
I say we just be free today then. Never.
We can be free. I don't know if I'll cope being let free, but I can be let free.
Lose his mind. I say let free for today. Then I'm gonna, where am I? I'm gonna say goodbye to you. Thank you for joining me for today. Thank you
for having me.
Yeah, we're almost done with 5, so that's very exciting. Oh my god, this is so dusty.
5 took shorter than expected.
Honestly, it's shorter than what I remembered. I think because
I think I might just be skewed because, like, 4 is quite long.
I'm trying to zoom through this one
So-
too, but no, it feels short.
Hmm.
But okay.
It really does.
I love you. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye bye. Love you too.
What did? Oh, the dies eye of Sauron. His eye of hell. Okay, I will let you guys just go today. Oh, don't mind the High School Musical. Don't mind the High School Musical. Hold on, wrong plot twist. Don't mind the High School Musical. We're just gonna skip over that. It's like I can still hear. It's like I'm still in the room with you. Okay, I love you all. Please have a good weekend. I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow. If we do movies or something, I'll keep you all updated. If you guys want that, just please tell me. If not, I'm going to work on acting stuff tomorrow anyways. That's what I was gonna do instead of stream. So I'm still getting work done and everything. And editing. I need to get that I need to export that today. But I need to get stuff done because as soon as that sun goes down, I no longer wish to work. Sun gone? No motivation to work. All motivation gone. So I'm gonna say bye-bye from here. Bye-bye. I love you all. Thank you for a great day. This was fun. We got through a part of it. A good portion of it. I can't believe my bitrate died. But you know, that's better. That's fine. It's better that it just died, it recovered, and we just restarted the stream, so it's okay. But other than that, please enjoy your weekend, everybody. I love you all. Yeah, I'll keep you all updated if you want movies or whatnot. But I love you all. Please stay safe. And I will see you all on Monday. If I might possibly go out and do something on Monday. So if I do, we'll just move around like stream times or stream days. But I'll keep you all updated. So either way, I'll see you all next week. Don't worry. Bye-bye.